This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. Welcome to Comment Commentary, where I read the comments for the week and react to them. Let's get started with the best Browns team on paper since 1999. And we're going to talk about the comments here. Sean P says, honestly, you leaving Austin Hooper out of the 2020 tight end group just shows how forgettable he was when he was here. Oh my God, I forgot. I was looking at the roster and I thought I looked at all the time. Yeah, Austin Hooper was here. He was not horrible in that 2020 year. I would still stand by what I said. I think the tight end group is better this year than it was with Austin Hooper and David Njoku, because you got a lesser version of David Njoku, and then you got Austin Hooper, who gave you just straight up mid. I think the tight end group's better now. So doesn't change where I would rank it, but yes, that was an oversight. Dom 118 said, hey, Baker had 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions in 2020. That's pretty damn good. He'll probably never see a season like that again, but it's important to acknowledge that we had good quarterback play this season. That's not what I said in that video, though, right? I mentioned that Baker Mayfield played good in that season. Here's the thing. If Deshaun Watson throws 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, we're kind of underwhelmed. We're like, yeah, that's fine, but we were expecting a little bit more. Especially if he doesn't have a significant amount of rushing touchdowns. Now, if he has this stat line, 10 rushing touchdowns, all right, we over the moon. But if it's just 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions and the 26 is adding in the rushing touchdowns, and we're not going to be happy with that. The bar for Baker Mayfield was significantly lower than the bar for Deshaun Watson because Deshaun Watson has played at a significantly higher level of football. Baker Mayfield has never been a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback. He's had a season in which you can make the argument that maybe he's Pro Bowl caliber, but Deshaun Watson in all those years where Baker Mayfield was trying to make the Pro Bowl was in the Pro Bowl. You know what I mean? Yes, you had decent quarterback play in 2020, but what Deshaun brings to the table is much different. Not just from the touchdown interception ratio, but also his ability as a runner, his ability as an improviser. So even over 2020 Baker, let's be real. 2020 Baker, that's the absolute minimum that Deshaun Watson can do this year, and we would be satisfied with. And that's the difference, right? That's where we expect the floor to be with Deshaun. Not like the 8 interceptions, 20, but somewhere along that ratio is what we expect out of Deshaun this year. And that's a different bar. It's a different bar. Deshaun's got to live up to it, but it's a different bar. My video about why the Browns should avoid Zeke Elliott. One of the comments in there from Basher says, people forget at times the weather and how much teams in bad weather need to run the ball. Naturally, Browns fans are always concerned about our ability to run. So getting a running back is appealing, but one of the easiest to acquire. Dearness was on a fishing boat, made the most out of his chances, and got paid. That's another thing, right? Running backs is not that hard of a position to fill. Two, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Y'all not going to like this. But even when it's cold outside, the Browns will have to find a way to be successful throwing the ball. Because, yes, for one cold game, we can win running the ground. Maybe for 2 cold games in the late part of the season, we can win running the ball. But if this team, let's say this team gets home field in the playoffs, has a real successful season and has home field, now we're talking about 3 games in a row against elite quarterback play. More than likely, you're going to have to be able to throw the ball in the cold. Can't avoid it. Can't avoid it. If you're going to have Deshaun Watson on your team, you're not going to win by just handing the ball off to Nick Chubb in the playoffs. You could do that, and it will help you. Obviously, Nick's going to be part of the success, but it can't just be all Nick. It has to be a good amount of Deshaun in there in the late part. So you can't hide from throwing the ball in the cold. You got to be able to do it. You just do. Point blank, period. I don't care how cold it is. Deshaun got to be able to get 300 if he needs it. how Jim Schwartz could take advantage of the Townsend defense, where I laid out some of the advantages. Ray Jackson said, I love the new thumbnail theme. Yes. I changed the thumbnail. I thought it was time to have a new thumbnail theme. This is not that different from the old one, except for there's no solid background behind the numbers. But I thought that this looks nicer. It looks more premium. I thought it was an upgrade. So I decided to pull the trigger on that. The next video we're going to look at the comments for is why the Browns will be great. An interview I did with Tyvis Powell. And this guy, who I left his name off, so I guess he must have said something mean, says, here we go. Every year, the Browns hype machine oversells the product and NFL experts eat it up. LOL. Prepare for disappointment. You can really live in whatever reality that you want to nowadays. Like, there's so much out there that you can choose to live in whatever timeline that you want to live in, because it's like different Browns fans live in different worlds from each other. Because you have the Browns fans who go, man, the media hates us, and the NFL experts, they always hate on the Browns, and nobody wants us to win, and that's why we stink. And then you have dudes like him that are like, hey, the Browns hype machine's gonna over, and these NFL experts are so eager that they're gonna eat it up, and all of this, and it's like, it doesn't matter, right? Like, whatever you say, I guess it's kind of true, because you could get anything anywhere. It's kind of like when Georgia was like, hey man, somebody guessed us to go 7-3 or something crazy like that. Nobody actually thought that. The greater consensus of people never actually thought that. But hey, you can find two dudes who think that, and you can act like that's the normal. You know, we have lost touch with the consensus opinion. It's one of the things that, you know, my existence makes harder. Somebody who does videos online, you know, people who cater to more niches, while it is better, and I think we do get better content out of it, one of the things I think we got to be mindful of is, hey, we don't have a great eye anymore for the consensus opinion, because it's so fragmented. And when you don't have a great eye for the consensus opinion, anything can sound like the normal, even when it's bat insane. Insane. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. And to address the commenter, like, do the Browns hype machine oversells the product? Browns fans are excited about the Browns. Oh my God. Shoot somebody, right? The Browns are excited. Browns fans dare to be excited about their team. And like, maybe a couple of NFL experts thought that, yeah, I can see why they're excited. Like, what are we mad about here? What are we mad about here? You know what I mean? Like, damn, let people be excited about their teams. If you're not excited about their team, cool. Explain why you're not excited about their team in detail. But you don't got to tell people they're not allowed to be excited no matter what. That's just dumb. You know what I mean? Whenever I tell you why a team should be, like when I talk about Kenny Pickett, I give you every reason in the world why you should not be excited about Kenny Pickett. Steelers fans. I don't just say, oh, you're excited about Kenny Pickett, LOL. I'm like, nah, look at his numbers in college before his last years. Look at all this. Look at his actual numbers. Look at his event. Like, there's numbers to tell you why Kenny Pickett probably ain't going to be that good. But we'll see. The Browns' secret weapon on defense is an interview I did with Jake Mearns. Quincy, people are saying Smith is Clowney 2.0 because of his injury history. Nothing to do with his production. No, they're not. They don't have the same injury history. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Clowney, what? Somebody even pointed out in this thread that Jadeveon Clowney missed 8 games in his 2 years in Cleveland. Like, that's more than what Za'Darius Smith has missed his entire career. Again, it's lazy. It's just lazy. The comparison to Clowney and calling him Clowney 2.0 is lazy. They see somebody who rushes the passer, who wasn't a 3-4, and who has dreadlocks and goes, ooh, that's the same person. But it's not. It's not. It's just people being lazy. There's nothing that correlates. Everybody who says, oh, no, it's not to do with the production, right? You know, because they know that's a ridiculous argument. It's the injury history. The injury history isn't similar at all. What are you talking about? Like, are you projecting an injury history on him? That's stupid. Like, why? You talking about injury history. It's history, not injury projection. So, no, the injury history is not the same. It's a non-factual statement. Oh, well, you know, he's Clowney in the ways in the locker room. Nah, he's been team captain. I've never seen Jadeveon Clowney be team captain. Like, what are we talking about? They're not the same. It's just laziness on why people are saying they're the same. Like, just be real. Be real. People just being lazy. That's it. That's it. They both play edge and they have similar builds. So people are being lazy about it. And Anthony Woodruff says, I would take Za'Darius Smith over Clowney. It's not even close. He's been in the division before. Great pickup. I can see 50 sacks as a team. And double the turnovers from last season. I think we got 3 turnovers last season, so it ain't gonna be hard. But yeah, Zadarius is a much better player than Clowney, and especially when it comes to pressures. I'm wondering what that's gonna do, right? Zadarius had a great amount of pressures last season, and I'm wondering, hey, what's that going to do for Myles Garrett if he has somebody on the opposite side who's consistently getting pressures? Because even in Clowney's best year in Cleveland, we're talking about 30 pressures. Zadarius last year, I think he had 50, 60 pressures. Something crazy. He was on pace to get 80 at some point in the year. So with that being the case, hey, what are those pressures that Zadarius is gonna do for Myles Garrett? Because it's one thing when you got to run away from Myles Garrett. It's another thing when you got to run away from Zadarius, and then there's Myles Garrett. Might be an explosion in sacks. I don't know what the prop bet number is from Myles Garrett, but I would comfortably bet the over if it's anywhere at 16. I think Myles is probably primed to have a 18, 19 to 20 sack year. If it's going to happen, it's probably this year because of the amount of pressures that his coworker is going to get. But that's it for the commentary for today. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night.